The Supreme Court has a loaded gun pointed at marriage equality, and everyone who cares about equality for the queer community should take notice. This is serious, and it's personal. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. For the past 10 years, queer Americans, including myself, have finally enjoyed equal rights to their heterosexual counterparts. In other words, we could actually get married and raise our children with the same legal protections as heterosexual couples. That came about with the landmark Supreme Court ruling in the case Obergefell v. Hodges, which extended marriage equality nationwide. Of course, not everyone celebrated the ruling as much as the gay community and its allies. Remember this.
Business
Kim Davis, you need to do your job.
I am doing my job.
No, you're not doing your job.
You want to remember that you stood up for this?
You've seen the videos.
I'd like you to put your phone away.
Obey the law. One man and one woman.
I pay your salary. I pay you to discriminate against me right now.
Gay couples trying to obtain marriage licenses, but Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis refusing.
We turn now to that showdown in Kentucky. The county clerk defying the Supreme Court.
Her failure to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling that allowed same-sex marriage became national news. It even landed her in jail.
I'm not doing marriage license today. We're pending an appeal.
Under
We're
what
actually going
authority?
to court tomorrow.
Under what
God's
authority? God's authority. I knew you would say that.
But through it all, she has not granted any interviews until now.
Do you believe that God told you to do this?
I think God put me in the position where I'm at, and I think God has prepared me for just this time.
Is this about religious freedom, or is this about conscience?
Well, they both go together. You can't separate them. If you've got a conscience and you love God, you know, those two go hand in hand, just like hand in glove.
According to this ruling and according to Governor Beshear, she does not have the right to refuse us our license.
It started back in July when she refused to issue a marriage license to David Moore and his partner. He posted this video on YouTube that garnered nearly 2 million views.
And you can put that away, okay?
This is not a house of God. It's the people's house.
She would eventually deny the couple 4 times.
And you can tell Ms. Davis doesn't know too many gay people, can't you? You'll also be happy to know I've seen drag queens imitate her, and it's a beautiful thing. And yes, as that clip pointed out, Davis spent several days in jail, not for her religious beliefs, mind you, but because she refused to do her job. Someone needs to tell this woman if she can't fulfill her duties, she needs a different gig. Anyhow, for the past decade, Davis has cried foul and continued to fight marriage equality. Oh, and a jury did award one of the couples she denied a marriage license to $100,000 in damages. So there's that. She also lost re-election to her job as county clerk. And by the way, Miss Davis is now on her 3rd marriage, and she conceived her children while married to someone else. In other words, she doesn't have the right to lecture anyone on marital sanctity. But that's not stopping her. And now Kim Davis is making a bid to nullify all same-sex marriages nationwide. Take a look.
10 years after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage across the United States, it could now be overturned. Senior Washington correspondent Devin Dwyer is on the story for us. All right, give us the deal, Devin. Who is actually asking the justices to overturn this?
Well, in recent years, Kira, we've been waiting for a case like this as some of the sentiment in the country has started to shift a little bit, softened rather, against same-sex marriage. There's been a lot of talk about whether the justices will get a chance to reconsider the case. And as you said there, they are getting that opportunity next month. We've learned that Kim Davis, she's that Kentucky clerk from back in 2015 that was at the center of international controversy when she refused to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple in Kentucky in defiance of the Supreme Court. She spent 6 days in jail. She lost a defamation suit. She had to pay $100,000 in damages, $260,000 in legal fees. That's what she's appealing to the Supreme Court, but it's the first time, Kira, that anyone has technically asked the justices explicitly to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges, which was that landmark ruling. And she does just that. Her counsel in this petition, which was filed last week, says that decision was egregiously wrong. And if that sounds familiar, that's the same type of argument that was made by opponents of abortion when they sought to overturn Roe versus Wade just a few years ago. So a lot of eyes on this petition. It's unclear whether the court will take it up, but certainly a lot on the line.
Now, to reiterate, it's not totally clear if the Supreme Court will even hear Davis's case, though I would remind you that this is the same court that overturned 50 years of legal precedent with the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade. When that happened, Justice Clarence Thomas also wrote in his opinion that the court should revisit Obergefell. In other words, the son of a bitch signaled that he thought the court would overturn the case and do away with marriage equality, or at least severely limit it. And all this because of Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell's meddling in court appointments. I'm not going to lie to you. I am scared. This court and so many of our politicians have lost their minds, and as someone whose sexuality and identity has been used as a political football his whole life, I'm sick of this crap. Stop picking on me. Stop picking on people and go do your jobs. Do something to attack real perverts like releasing the Epstein files. Go block a real threat to our country like Trump's tariffs. And for the love of all that's holy, somebody please tell Kim Davis to go read the Bible. I specifically direct her and any other homophobe living under the guise of Christianity to Mark chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar, render unto God that which is God's. You don't have to like the queer community, but my rights need to be the same as yours. And for goodness sakes, someone give Kim Davis a makeover. We'll keep you up to date on this story as it continues to develop. This is Occupy Democrats.